Taking a look at some of our national and international headlines for Friday, August 25th, 2017, we see that a protest was organized, actually a vigil, for a trans woman who was killed by cops in St. Louis earlier this week, and a car being driven by a white man plowed through the protesters because they wouldn't get out of his way. The Trans Lives Matter protest. Of course, then the protesters began attacking his car. Donald Trump has now softened his tone, urging a new unity based on our shared national values. Strategic Russian bombers have made flights over the Pacific Ocean and the Sea of Japan. Everybody wants to have a show of force near Korea now these days. And there's an analysis on how a second conventional war between North and South Korea could actually spread over the entire world. Basically, we are in a powder keg situation very similar to what happened before World War I. That'll be my subject of commentary today. In Brazil, they've opened up a vast reserve in the Amazon to mining. And in India, the Supreme Court there has ruled that privacy is a fundamental right. It's actually intrinsic to the right of life and is the underpinning of all of their basic human rights. So now the Supreme Court in India has ruled that privacy apparently is the supreme human right. Taking a look at some of the other stories we have, the Big Mac sauce secret recipe has allegedly been leaked online. A number of people taking a look at it say that, this looks like this could be it. They're not exactly sure the combination of how much of any of the ingredients. If you really are keen on trying it, you can check it out at news.com.au. Donald Trump has given the Pentagon 6 months to kick thousands of transgender service people out of the military if they are deemed non-deployable. And by the way, from the memo, it looks like what makes them non-deployable is that they are transgender. The Russian ambassador to Sudan has died in Khartoum, and they have not figured out why just yet. Also, the United Nations has issued a very rare warning over what they're calling alarming racism in the United States. Another person has resigned in the Trump administration. This is a science envoy, and his letter, his resignation letter, spells out the word impeach. Also, NASA is now studying how to prevent the super Yellowstone volcano, that giant caldera, how to prevent it from destroying the United States. They're talking about trying to cool it down, possibly by drilling some holes to let off steam, which could actually end up provoking the very super explosion that they're worried about. In Charlottesville, the local leaders there have now covered the Confederate statues with black shrouds, and a new analysis of the incident in Cuba that we talked about earlier a few weeks ago that had to do with the use of sound waves. They say that it caused brain injury and nerve damage to the diplomats involved. More stories that we don't have time for in a video feed. If you'd like the 30 to 40-minute version of the news, become a subscriber at radiofreespeech.com, and I will send it to your email inbox every day at 5 a.m. radiofreespeech.com.